Who are the 24 elders? And what role do they play in the grand vision that John has of heaven? Are they Israel? Are they the church? Are they the angels? Or are they the living creatures? And we will explore these questions in today's teaching. And in Revelation chapter 4, John is called up to heaven where he sees God's throne surrounded by various heavenly beings, including the 24 elders. And around about the throne were 24 seats. And upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. And out of the throne proceeded lightning and thundering and voices. And there were 7 lamps of burning fire before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. And in Revelation 5, we're going to see that these elders are present again in a scene of worship as they join with the other heavenly creatures in praising the Lamb, Jesus Christ. Verse 8 says, "And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps of golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us unto our gods kings and priests, and we shall reign on earth." But the question is still, who are the 24 elders? From these verses, we see several things about the 24 elders. So we will use the process of elimination to identify who they are. Are they Israel? Are they the church? Are they angels? Are they the living creatures? First of all, when we go to Revelation 7, "And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders, and the 4 beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshiped God." This is letting us know that, one, they are not angels, and neither are they the 4 living creatures. Here are a few important facts concerning angels. Number 1 is angels cannot be redeemed. Luke 20:36 says, "Neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto the angels and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection." When we are finally redeemed, we can no longer die. We'll be like the angels because angels cannot die. That's why they cannot be redeemed. So we know that the 24 elders are not angels. They're not the 4 living creatures. The next thing is in this process of elimination is they are not of the tribulation saints. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of the great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. So let me explain this right quick. In Revelation 7, the elders are present before those from the tribulation get to heaven. The elders are going to ask the question, who are these people that now have on white robes, and where have they come from? They came through the great tribulation. Okay, now here's a question that maybe you want to ask and we need to answer. Who goes through the tribulation? Let's go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people." Michael is the personal angel for Israel. "And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book." And Jeremiah 30:7 says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So who goes through the great tribulation? Jacob's trouble, Israel. The tribulation is a punishment for Israel. Why is Israel being punished? They're being punished because they ultimately rejected their Messiah. So Since the elders are present in heaven before Israel shows up, the 24 elders are not Israel. By the process of elimination, Israel, angels, four living creatures, when we eliminate all three of those, the only group left is the church. The 24 elders, therefore, have to be the church. But let's prove it. In Revelation chapter 1, we find out that the book of Revelation is written in past, present, and future tense. Write these things which thou hast seen, past, and the things which are present, and the things which shall be hereafter, future. Another important fact of Revelation is that not understanding chapters 1 through 4 makes it impossible to understand the rest of the book. Okay? So in chapters 1 through 4 of Revelation, it deals strictly with the church. But in chapter 5, it begins to deal with Israel. Because now in chapter 5, it takes a Jewish turn. You begin to see you need somebody from the root of David, because David, king of Israel. We're going to start talking about the seal that needs to be opened, because during the Great Tribulation, the world is being destroyed. I hope that this is making sense. I don't want to confuse anybody. I want to go back to Revelation 1. Verse 4 says, John to the 7 churches which are in Asia. That's presently. Okay, during that time with John. Grace be unto you and peace, and from him which is and which was and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. They are on earth at that time. Verse 20 says, the mystery of the 7 stars which thou hast saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands which thou sawest are the 7 churches. But when we get to Revelation 4, the church is no longer on earth. And this is the first time that you're going to see the name 24 elders represented, okay? Verse 1 says, after this I looked, switch to future tense, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which says, come up hither, and I will show you these things which must be hereafter. The vision to John is, okay, come up here, because this angel is escorting John. And immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And round about the thrones were 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. And out of the throne proceeded lightning and thunderings and voices. And there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. Okay, so the church is now in heaven. Remember, I'm showing you that this is the church. They are now seated around the throne. They are clothed in white raiment, and they're wearing crowns of gold, which means that they have overcome. Well, that's the same thing with the church. To the church of Sardis, it was written, thou hast a few names, even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before the angels. The white represents purity. In Revelation 19:8, it says, and to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saint. White linen is what the saints wear. Also, when it comes down to the crown of life, the church is promised this. Revelation chapter 2, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. This is not the great tribulation. This is persecution. The church is persecuted because of Jesus, not to be confused with tribulation that Israel goes through as a punishment. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. James 1:12 says, blessed is the man that endured temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them that love him. I'm proving that the 24 elders is the church. The next thing is that, and when he had taken the book, the four beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on earth. Okay, wait a minute. See, because all right, now they sing the song of redemption to show you that they were men. Okay, they've been redeemed. Every language, every people, every nationality make up these 24 elders. Okay, because remember, I'm showing you that these are the church. Let me give you this. Okay, with Abraham, there were two people that fell under the covenant of circumcision with Abraham. It was those that are born in thine house, and the others were those that were purchased with money of any stranger, which is not thy blood. The natural are going to go on to be Israel, and then the strangers are going to go on to be the Gentiles. But both of them fell under the covenant of circumcision that God gave to Abraham, that had to be circumcised on the 8th day. Well, when you understand those that were purchased with money, 1 Corinthians 7:23 lets us know that ye are bought with a price. Be not ye the servants of men. This is the spiritual significance of what Abraham was physically told to do. And Jesus lets us know that because of his sacrifice, now these people are purchased with a price. They are bought with a price. So these people from every nation, every nationality, every language, they sing the song of redemption. That shows that they are men. They've been redeemed. They are called elders, kings, and priests. Okay. This is important because this is the same thing with the church. Revelation 1:5-6 says, and from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and had made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Now, there are only 3 people in the Bible that are mentioned as both kings and priests. The first was Melchizedek in Genesis 14:8. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. Now we know that Jesus is king, and he was made priest after the order of Melchizedek. So he's the second. So Melchizedek, Jesus is king and priest. And the third, we just read it in Revelation 1:6. The third is the church. Somebody will say that, well, Israel had kings and priests. Yeah, but kings and priests in Israel is 2 different tribes. The kings were from Judah, and the priests were from Levi. So in order to have a king and a priest, you needed 2 different tribes. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. In the Old Testament, you had Jews and Gentiles. So you had Israel and you had everybody else, right? When you get to the New Testament, you have the church is born on the day of Pentecost, and the church is neither Jew nor Gentile. It is made up of a combination from people from anywhere. So the church can include Jews, and it also can include Gentile, but its identity is neither Jew nor Gentile. Okay, I hope that is important. And that's why when you're reading, remember John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Whosoever. So that church is made up of whosoevers. In conclusion, the 24 elders in the book of Revelation represents the church, and it represents them as a powerful and symbolic figure in the heavenly worship scene. Okay, they emphasize God's being sovereign. They also represent the worthiness of Christ and the ultimate victory of God's plan of redemption.